All right, welcome back. Episode 32 of the Prophetic Podcast, but this time it's also the Occasionally Accountable Podcast as well.
Hey, you said our name right the first time. I don't even be saying our name right the first time.
I was like, it's like 2 words.
It took us. It's a lot of syllables, bro.
Yeah.
Occasionally, accountable.
Prophetic, occasionally. I think we're in the same boat.
Prophetic, occasionally.
You got one more.
We got you.
You got to drop it. I don't know how you would drop it. Just keep it. I like it though.
No, I mean it is what it is now.
Yeah.
I like the
It's
08.
on the
You go
thing.
by the 08 too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Help people out.
I'll introduce us to your audience because this is like a collab. So I am Andrew from the Prophetic Podcast. This is my co-host Trevor.
How's it going?
Hi everybody.
Hey, everybody.
And O cannot be here because she's stuck on a project today. So wah. So she won't be here today. She's working hard. I know. I need to make John put that in there too.
Yeah, I'm saying.
What's the timestamp? Okay, we got it. So if you ladies want to introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, I'm Brianna. We didn't really say what we were going to say, but I am part co-host of the.
Y'all rehearsed?
We did not. We don't know.
I was like, don't do that.
I'm off the cuff with it.
Okay,
That's the
okay.
vibe.
That is what we don't rehearse shit.
But I'm Brianna.
Freestyle.
50% of the Occasionally Accountable podcast, and excited to be here.
Hey.
And I am Brittany Nation, also 50%. You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing is, when you told me that was your last name for real, I was like, I thought she was just trying to make like a beehive, or like the Navy, or like what? No, that's really her last name. That's a cool last name. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for real.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, you see it
Yeah.
right?
That's dope.
No, it's not an alias. It's a real last name.
Yeah.
Because I saw his face.
People really be thinking I'm just like arrogant, like, ooh, it's B Nation, it's my
Yeah.
nation. I'm like, no, that's literally my name.
That is the name that
I don't have a choice.
That is my ancestors.
I would just roll with it though. Like, why
Oh,
not?
it's lit.
Yeah,
It's a fantastic last
that's what I'm
T-shirts
saying.
and shit, coasters,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So tell everyone what your podcast normally does, and I'll tell them what we do, and we are going to mash it up today. You guys are mindful for what I got, right?
You're quite mindful. We like to
Right.
use our mind. It's really, I don't know, when we think of... it's
Welcome.
really, I think it's really just like a beautiful blend of like timestamps of where Brittany and I both are in our lives. Like I like to really think about it as like a journal entry. Like we sort of just like talk about things that are going on. Like a lot of it has to do with mindfulness and mental health, but we talk a lot about toxic things and things that we get into because that's just real. And I think it's really a beautiful opportunity for people to resonate with like our experience. I'm in my I like to say mid-20s, but it ain't mid no more. I'm in my 20s and, Brittany is a little bit older. So we just have a lot different perspectives. And so like, it's just really cool to like, just see where we are and bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
so why did y'all stick the older two on this couch and the younger? Was that intentional? Oh, you set this up.
Wisdom over here.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh,
You know what I'm
that's a good.
saying?
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, seasoned couch.
Yeah.
Youthful.
You know what I'm
We can do
saying?
this all day.
Seasoned, flavorless, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
We'll spend 2 hours doing just this.
That's the Tinder side.
Oh, wow.
Let me also add in that I think it's super important for our pod that like we live in an age where it's a lot of highlight reels. It's a lot of whatever, all the great things all the time. And I think that there's such a lack of authenticity of both sides of life, like the lit stuff, but also like, I am really freaking struggling this week and what we're struggling about. So the intentionality is really to be able to allow people to resonate and not feel so isolated in their experience and hopefully be able to pick up on something that we're going through and be able to be like, oh shit, like, okay. Not everybody perfect
why I
out
feel
here.
like
I'm not wilding.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. And to our point about younger, older, whatever, our backgrounds are very different. And I think it's super valuable to have representation of diverse backgrounds in general, but for women and for Black people in general. So all of that are aspects that contribute.
Well, we are younger and older too. I'm a dad, and he is not.
Although at times
That's one huge difference.
I do a lot of dad so-called duties.
Are you trying to say
That's
someone
true.
calls you daddy?
No.
I was about to say, are you have a Call Him Daddy podcast?
No.
Wait a
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at
Knowing
all.
that you're an educator, I felt the cringe that you felt.
He's like, no, absolutely
no
not.
one calls me
Yeah.
daddy.
No, I guess with like cousins and relatives and stuff, right?
Nah, with my
your brothers.
My
Yeah,
brothers,
yes.
before we got started, was trying to put out some fires and stuff.
Yeah, he's a fireman and an educator.
Yeah, so
But our podcast is a collective. We do just about everything. We talk everything from investing to politics to family, because I'm the guy here with the family, to not having a family, which I don't even know what you're doing out here. Like, you never tell me. You keep all your secrets to yourself. We're going to get them out of him today, though. But we talk about pretty much everything. We make people feel like they're welcome in and they can come in and just pick up on our conversation. It doesn't have to be the same thing every week. It doesn't have to be the same type of guest every time. But we just are, I guess, as digestible as Drake. Yeah.
that's what.
It's Drake. It's like a sprinkle of everything. And
Comparing yourself to
be,
Drake is wild.
It is very wild on the podcast, yeah. But no, it's like it could be invested one week, or it could be family the next week, or it could be an art studio, or it could be a business owner. It's anything. It could be racial injustice. It could be social inequity. It could be anything. So I left it to where we could just talk about pretty much anything that we wanted to. So
That's lit.
that is us. And I think we align with y'all kind of nicely. So here we are.
Yeah. Cool.
That meeting was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very interesting. So where do you guys want to go? Where do you want to go first? I'll throw it around the room. Anybody.
He's so smiley. I love it.
All the time. All the time.
We can go there first. Why are you so snug?
Nah, honestly, been like this since birth.
That's lit.
Came out smiling?
Pretty much.
I need a picture of this.
Moms
This is
will
not where
tell
we're
you
supposed-
that. Moms will tell you.
I just know where we're starting, but I need a picture of this. This is terrible.
So Brittany started, for me at least today, like Black Boy Joy trend. She posted a TikTok of, have you guys seen it? Maybe not, but it was some podcast or something that was giving black men flowers, and they had never gotten
that's
flowers,
nice.
like literally giving them a bouquet of roses, and their reaction, and it made me go down Black Boy Joy TikTok, and now you're sitting here smiling, and it's giving
don't
what
know
I
if-
need today.
I don't know that I've ever gotten flowers.
See?
That is actually a very good question. Like, yo.
Damn. I need to say,
You would want flowers?
I'm gonna go to Trader Joe's and buy myself some flowers.
Do it.
Yeah, like sunflowers.
But would you want
Ooh, my
flowers?
favorite.
Foliage. Like
It's
what I want, what? Flowers?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I like flowers. Well, I grew up with my grandmother having rose gardens and stuff, so I would help her tend to her garden. So I personally like flowers. That's something y'all probably don't know about. You didn't even know that about me, excuse me. But yeah, I like flowers. I'm a romantic.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn, you got me wondering. No, what the fuck nobody have bought me no-
It's sad.
I'm like, honestly,
Where's
I
my
wouldn't
Black
know,
Boy Joy?
but
Like, I need some Black Boy Joy. That's
but
terrible.
I might like that. I don't
Wow.
know.
Okay.
I'll say why not.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I don't
See,
know.
That's why we need them here to make us.
It's like
think of-
it's a plant
yeah.
from the earth with medicinal properties. Not weed, but you know what I'm saying? Like all flowers
We got
have
it.
medicinal properties, and
that's
just
cool.
because society has made it as a girl thing, fuck it. Like
That's
I can
cool
cuss,
too,
right?
though,
I
though.
can
Yeah,
cuss?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Absolutely not. And
I'm
don't
like,
talk
why
about
you
weed.
can't-
What are you
You
doing?
ain't never been somewhere and been like, damn, them flowers hella pretty, whether you said it out loud or not. Why you can't have none?
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
I look at landscapes and shit.
We need to get
Yeah.
you some flowers then.
Next time y'all come out, I expect flowers.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Y'all set it up
I
now.
let you know about it. I was like, damn, you brought it up. We didn't bring no flowers.
I ain't get. Hey, we got free water though. If y'all want. Right out there, cups and everything.
But why is that?
Slowly,
Like, why?
Here you go.
Somebody, we don't have security yet. Do we?
Brittany.
No, we not that big time yet. We headed there. We
the
headed
Oakland
there.
coming out of her, y'all.
Yeah, she's just stealing people flowers. Not even the real ones either. But no, why is what?
Why is that? Why do we feel weird about giving men flowers? I don't know. I've never
Is it still
thought
February?
about it.
It's still February. We could talk about love shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I've never gotten. You just maybe I didn't even plan to talk
No,
about.
that's
this
what I'm
today,
saying. I would have never thought of like me receiving flowers. It's kind of you think about it to give like to the ladies. So you
but
know.
I think it's a societal norm.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
I think we've been literally conditioned to court women, right?
Yeah,
That's what they used to
exactly.
call it, right? So you give
Exactly.
them flowers, you take them out. There's all these like gestures that men are just taught to do, not ever realizing it could happen the other way too. Like I might like that shit. Like
Yeah, right.
pick me up, give me some candy, say some corny shit. I'll probably turn you down. Like let's
want a
go out.
card?
Actually, I'll probably laugh
Yes.
because
You
I
want a
laugh
card?
at everything.
Yeah,
so
What's
nah,
the cards from? Oh,
Mahogany?
The Hallmark cards?
Nope. Papyrus.
Oh, that's
those
a
are the
nice
fancy
card.
ones. You want
Oh,
expensive
you're
ones.
bougie.
I thought you was going with the black on. He was like, nah, fuck mahogany.
No, mahogany's amazing.
Actually, I don't know if it's black
We're still in
owned.
Black History Month.
It's
We're still in
definitely
Black
geared
History
towards
Month.
black people. I don't know if black people owns it though.
Google mahogany. But no, I think it's just a societal norm. I think we're just taught that that's our job. Like we're taught to be breadwinner, or
Yes.
like it's our responsibility to navigate those parts of relationships. And then I guess at some point you pick up the ball and start around. I don't even know when. Like you were taught that we're supposed to get the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're supposed to pick you up, take you
Absolutely.
up, pay for it,
Still pay for it. Yep.
plan for
Beat
it.
somebody up if you need to on the street.
Yup.
Make sure we don't get by a car.
I don't know why I have to be a superhero. Why?
But yeah,
Do I have to be?
Yes.
Okay, well, shit.
well,
Beat somebody up.
Look, I'm not necessarily one, but you know, hey,
I think is we've been trained. And honestly, I don't think no one's ever not to say that this is a bad thing, but I don't think anyone's ever went out of their way to romance me that I can remember. I don't.
That's sad.
Not in a bad way.
know we need to do better as
I've
women.
gotten romanced, but I'm like, no one's like put the rose petals in the bed for me. I'm like,
exactly.
hey, nigga, I bought you some wine. Like, oh,
Are we
shit,
allowed
for
to
real?
say sex?
Yeah, you can say whatever the hell you want.
Okay.
I put a
Do you- when you-
disclaimer at the. Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
When you say romance, you mean like more than just sex. Like, what do you mean when you say something
Yeah.
romance?
Well,
to you?
so romance is not just like the physicality of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, there's it's intimacy, like right. So it could be it could be stroking my ego, it could be stroking my brain, it could be saying, "Oh, your edge up looks nice today," right? That's
Yeah.
It
for a
does,
man-
by the way.
Thank you. Yours does too, though. I like, yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm
that's-
saying?
Y'all's hair is
Your edge
looking
up also
kinda-
looks nice. to me.
That shit is late. I like that. Anyway, so like,
We loving on our black men today.
Right on.
but, hey, go ahead and go ski and do it.
Do it one time. One time for the one time.
But no, I think we've just been trained to just do all those things. But like as far as to your question, romance is deeper than just that. It's like the 5 love languages, all that kind of stuff. It's whether it be words of affirmation, whether it be gestures, or there's so many things that romance equate to in my book. I don't know. You?
I would say the same.
Have you been romanced before?
Nah.
What?
Well, I would have to be kind of
What
in
are
a
these
relationship.
girls doing?
No, you
No,
don't.
you don't.
No, you don't. Boy, no, you don't. I'm
I
not
for
trying-
sure
I'm not
have
trying to tell-
romanced
I'm
some
not trying to
niggas that I
tell.
wasn't in a relationship with. I'm a toxic bitch though.
I was a toxic dude. I've romanced women I wasn't in a relationship with.
Okay.
I'm saying.
Hey, but yeah, you can have when you're not in a relationship.
Okay.
Like, you could be just be dating, like whatever that means anymore. I don't even know what that means anymore.
Yeah, what is dating anymore?
Going on
Smashing
dates.
is what most people think.
That's what I'm saying.
I hate to say it, but that's what it seems like.
It's unfortunate.
Somebody you can call up.
When I was still single, that was what it seemed like. That seemed to be what I was running across a lot. It wasn't anything deep. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I would just want to marry this person. It wasn't like calling me. Like there was nothing profound about most of the people I was meeting. It was just like very surface level. So I didn't get a lot of the romance from them. No, but I've been romanced before. Typically, it was an older woman though. Not trying to
okay.
get too deep into the weeds.
And
She knew.
And she wore a purple shirt.
She knew. I think that's also a
Why she
thing.
said she work at a convenience store?
No, I said she wore a purple
I didn't say
shirt.
she was retired. Like, damn.
I think it makes sense that an older woman who, in theory, could be more mature. I know age and maturity don't necessarily equate, but that she would see the value in actually showing up in that way and romancing you and understanding that this is a reciprocal process. So I could see why that would happen. Because I feel like, to your point about the socialization, it's like if we're socialized that way, especially when you're a younger girl, you're like, yeah, why is he not doing this? Why is he not doing that? And then you get into relationships and realize it's nothing like what you thought society was telling you it was.
Not even
And that can make sense to
And
me
see,
that an
that's
older
what-
woman would be like, oh, this has to be a reciprocated experience for me to be happy and for them to be happy. Because I think love is about giving. I don't think love is about constantly taking.
True.
I like that.
But do you think that is an age thing? Like this, like you said it's wisdom on this side of the couch, right? So do you think that when a person, I won't say women, I'll say men too, when they get to a certain age in life, they start to understand the importance of those things?
I say maturity.
I would say that
I'll
because
okay. I'll take that. Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily have to be a age thing per se. Some people are you're just wired a certain way, like maturity wise. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that I think it's because maturity a lot of times equates to you realizing the whole world doesn't fucking revolve around you.
Yeah.
So you become less selfish. And when you can become less selfish,
It doesn't. I'm learning that.
you can do that.
I thought it
No,
did.
it doesn't.
I don't know
Nah, it's
what the
kind
fuck
of a
she's
bummer,
talking
bro.
about.
It's like my world revolved around me for 20 plus some years. Like now all of a sudden it don't.
That P, that's the world around.
Yeah, but to Brittany's point, like I'm in a relationship, and this is the first time, which is crazy, and we said this on our podcast. Like this is the first time I ever considered his feelings. Like I know. Pause for
Was
effect.
my face that obvious? I'm
It
sorry.
was that.
Pause for effect. I mean, maybe I'm the only one being accountable in the room, but no.
Prophetic too.
But it's true. Like I just feel like, as to Brittany's point, like we just grow up thinking that men are supposed to be everything, and we're supposed to just be like pretty and maybe like cook something.
Who did you learn that from, though?
You know, I want to say it was the church.
Sometimes we want to go in that route, baby.
Sometimes, yeah.
He picked a fine time to go church route.
But I
Praise him.
and you know what? I don't think it came out of a negative place, but I think it's just the interpretation of things applied to my life, because I was raised in a 2-parent household and was very traditional, and like that's what I thought. I thought the men did everything. They didn't complain. We didn't give them flowers. You didn't do anything. You just woke up, put some smell good on, cook something, and then
She said some smell good.
that was it.
Hey,
Are you from the country?
Hey.
No, I'm in Ohio. That's not really the
Are you
country.
from the country? I mean, it's a fair question.
No, I'm from the Midwest.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really from the
She said some smell good. I heard some country. That's cool.
No.
That's all right. That's all right.
This way.
So, question for you then, to your point about church. In the church, who was displaying what is to be done, whether it be man, female? Who was the example? Was it a male example? Was it a female example?
Or was it like the leadership in the church? Because I know for like me growing up, same thing. A lot of the leaders, like you just saw it from the leadership. Like the men ran everything, the female, or like they were over the kids, that things like that, choir, but like very traditional type roles.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I would
then
say that. It was
so then is it us telling them that this is the standard? That's what it sounds like. Because
I think it is, because I think that for a long time, our society has told men that you're not supposed to feel. You're just supposed to do. You're supposed to provide. So I think that's ingrained in men. And then when you're always in positions of power, then you're teaching women, and you're teaching them to not care about your feelings because you've been taught not to care about your feelings.
That's true too.
And then I also think when we think about churches, like it was like a fight growing up in church to allow a woman to be in a position of leadership. And it was always just, you're the pastor's wife.
Yeah,
and we
that
get this
kinda-
nice bins for the pastor, and we get you a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
You know
kind
what I'm
of
saying?
yeah,
Like,
that kind
Okay. Mama Nation got bouquets, okay?
the little net thing on the face. Bird cage, what they call it? Yeah.
Like, have you ever been with a dated? I don't want to assume it's 2023. Do you date women?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you date men too?
No.
I don't know. I don't
Things
assume
could have
anything.
changed since college, bro. No,
Bruh.
it's
Could be
okay. to be
exploratory phase right now. I don't know your life.
Free to be you.
Figure it out. I don't
It
know.
could be for pansexual. I don't give a shit. Make it your own, bro. I don't care.
nah.
But like, have you ever told a woman how you want to be loved? Have you ever expressed to a woman how you want her to make you feel and the ways that she can do things to make you feel that way?
Nah.
It is liberating. Yeah. Like, I almost said some shit. It's
Watch
liberating.
yourself. Yeah. Got you.
It's liberating.
It got you.
Being more vocal, I would just say, I'm giving an example bedroom wise, just being more vocal, you will have a lot more of an intimate connection if you're just more vocal about certain things.
Got you.
I mean, that's true about
It's true.
everything. That's true about.
I mean, if we're getting that,
Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
even if it's just in a romance, we're talking about romance, right?
Yeah,
So even
yeah.
if it's just in a romantic sense, from physicality, being more vocal.
Yeah.
If it's emotional, being more vocal. If it's how not to respond to me in certain ways, being more vocal. Like just being more vocal within your relationship. Just kind
See, that for me is where it gets hard, because for me, who I am, it's like, then I'm worried about your feelings and how you gonna take it.
But then you gotta live in your organic truth. Just be yourself. Like you gotta find that space where you're unapologetically yourself,
Gotcha.
and you're not worried. Not that you're not worried about that person's feelings, but you're comfortable knowing, okay, they're going to reciprocate this unapologetic behavior that I'm displaying. Like, it'll be a two-way street, right? So then you don't have to necessarily worry so much about how they feel. And you can begin to have more of a dialogue.
And also,
you know what I mean?
why do you have to make yourself small? You, not you, but like you, the collective you. Why do we have to make ourselves small to feel like we fit in a relationship? Like, if you can't come as your full self, then like, what are y'all doing together? You know, that's not fair to you to feel like, oh, I have to like tiptoe around you to whatever. Like, no, show up or don't.
I care about the delivery.
See, there we go. There we go.
Fair
But
enough.
I think you have to care, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you learn your partner, yes, there's going to be times where your delivery isn't going to be on point. I'm a very sharp-tongued type of person, so I know my delivery ain't always going to be on point, and I want you to fuck with me enough. We over here. We know what's up over here, right?
He'll tell you.
You know, yeah.
I want you
know
to know my
Are you hurt too?
intention.
I didn't want to put her on Front Street, but I was just nodding.
Are you more of the sharp tongue as well?
no.
No.
Oh, wow. We balance this from perfectly.
No.
Yes. Yes.
is.
You put all the fire on this side.
natured, you know.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I'm calm natured too.
That felt like a lie.
But you know what I mean? Yeah.
You
Yeah.
ain't gotta get me there. You know what I'm saying? That was your choice. But I do think that, like, I need you to care about your delivery because, like you said, even acknowledging how I do or don't want you to like talk to me, you know, like you just said, like how you deliver something to me. I want you to care, but I also am like, if I really fuck with you and I know you're a kind-hearted, good-hearted person, like you can deliver something poorly and I could be like, all right, bruh, we can talk about this delivery next time, but I hear what you say. But
Okay,
again,
I
it's an
got
emotional
you.
maturity
Yeah,
thing. Like
yeah.
it's again putting myself out of the way because otherwise I could be, you got me fucked up. How dare you speak to me like that? Me. Or I could be like, let me take myself out of the way. If this person has shown themselves to be someone who really fucks with me and loves me, then I need to take a minute and step back and let me hear what you're really saying, you know? But again, that's emotional maturity. And I'm very much like, that's an issue, men and women. Like, that's not just a women thing or a man thing.
You made me think of something that we talked about. We were in a meeting the other day on offline, off mic, about the new you not aligning and all that kind of stuff. Delivery. So, like, I wanted to ask you guys this on air. So, what happens when you're in a scenario, and this could be a friendship or a work relationship, girlfriend, whatever. You find yourself in a scenario or at a juncture where you're not aligning. And it's either your growth is outgrown them, or their growth is outgrowing you, or like the new you's not aligning with them. Like, how do you handle those types of situations? And I think she was jumping there first.
Triggered.
Oh, shit.
The answer is I don't know. That's a tricky sea to swim in because I struggle a lot with people pleasing. Probably similar to what you were getting at there.
Yep.
No, look at these besties.
We both.
Yo, you already know.
Fuck them.
And I just want to believe that everyone is down for me the whole time, and it doesn't matter what season I'm in. I can take my kindergarten best friend with me to my wedding, but that's just not true. I think we just become different people, and once you evolve into a different person, you're just not compatible anymore, and that sucks.
Yes.
And I hate it.
Yeah, definitely along those
Happened
lines.
recently.
It's like you said, like some of the ones, day ones and things like that, you do grow. You do, or you're supposed to grow. Let's put it like that.
Good point.
In life. So also it can be hard because if you know the person is good, they just they got bad ways, bad habits that they don't want to change or improve. Like, you just have to maybe lower your dealings with them, but
see, I don't want to make myself small. Like, I don't want to lower my standards of the people that are around me just to suffice. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like you know what situation I'm talking about too. Like, I've had the situation in a recent friendship where I was like, I feel like I'm having to like really
but also I'll say that was different because that person, how they did it. I would say if it was one like if the person still fucks with you hard, like they still cool with you, but it's just like, man, I'm cool with you, but the way you living and where I'm going, we on two different paths. I can still fuck with you in certain arenas, certain spots, but I can't necessarily take you everywhere with me.
But then you get to a point where you feel like it's just not aligning. Like, and I don't want to feel like I'm having to press the brake a lot. I want to feel like I can just go in this relationship.
But where do you apply grace in that? Like, I just kind of feel like, and I know I am opposite, wrong side of the
Oh no,
the
you're good.
spectrum.
Yeah, no, this is
But,
awesome.
like,
No, this is
I
good.
just think that like we have to give people grace because I know I've been many versions of myself.
Oh, for real?
Oh, I am probably
This wasn't the first and last?
best ones right now, but I have been many a version.
see you.
And I and I think about like some versions of myself that I wouldn't even want to hang out with, but I do have people in my life that rock with me through all of that. And I know I was probably annoying, I was probably toxic, I was probably all of these things, and they didn't leave. So like, why do I,
I just met her like a couple years ago, so I don't know. She been the same since I met her because it's more recent.
Yeah.
We'll see in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
But no, that's a good point. Like, what if you know their circumstances are making them act a certain way, or because the pressure they're feeling, knowing their situation and stuff like that? Does that affect how you go about it?
I feel like my experience is I've had to decide like, because I look at it as tiers of friendship. I'm a scientist, so I look at it as like literally like a orbitals.
Okay.
Like nucleus.
Yeah.
And then it's like first ring, second ring, third
you.
ring. Literally, that's how my brain works. So like,
Oh, well, you don't know. I got you.
thank you.
Talking about shit.
And we all know that that's not the real model. They're not on a circle. They're just spinning, right?
Yes.
It's operating in space, probability, blah, blah.
Sorry.
But
Yeah, no. You know,
Be in here though.
yeah, I'm mad too, but
rainbow. Like I feel like we had a moment here. Come on, teacher.
yeah,
that's like a buddy. But if I'm at the center of this and that first ring is my tribe, that's my tribe, 8 spoon coons, we got it, right? And then I do think there are times in life where, again, that growth happens, the changes in growth happens. And where I've found issue is when I'm choosing to have to move you to a farther tier and you got a problem with it. So I'm like, look, we can stay in relationship, but you got to be on tier 3 because we not really aligning.
I got
and
you.
a lot of times you projecting whatever weird shit you got going on me, and I'm not about to take that.
I feel you.
So like,
I
let
do
me
feel
put
that.
you on 3. If you don't want 3, the option is you can't have nothing. And I'm sorry that those are the 2 options and that you don't feel good about either one, but that's the reality of what the situation is because self-preservation is a thing. Like, why do you get to fuck up my peace because you fucked up?
true.
That's what you're going through. And I've had friends who are going through really tough times or depression or grief, and they didn't treat me poorly. So you got to stay in that top circle.
Gotcha.
But I've also had people who was going through some shit.
And then
It
like,
came
took
all on me, and I was
took
like,
it out on you.
"Bet
Yeah.
you got on 2. You keep pushing, and I explained it to you. You got on 3. Hey, you either in or out at this point. you fuck with me, you out, and it is what it is. And it's not that I say that in a way that seems very like cut and dry, and it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean I don't like it. It doesn't mean it's not fun, or that it is fun, or it's just easy and it's just like fuck these. No, it hurts. But I also am like, yeah, I got one life. I'm not letting you fuck it up over there with your shit. You get your shit together, and I hope at some point you can hop back on one of these tiers.
See, that was my question.
See, for me-
that's where I was gonna go with it. Was
Oh, you're good.
if a person gets moved to one of those further tiers, is there a way for them to move back in, or once you kind of if you in a tier, nah, it pretty much is what it is.
If you're in the tiers, you can always be moved.
Okay.
If you get to tier 3 and you got to get kicked off, you probably not coming back.
Okay.
What,
Nah, I
what are
understand
the
that.
tears? I just want to know.
Okay, I mean, I'm like, is there like
This
a
shit sounds-
SOP for this? Like, can I get
Now we're on the same team. This shit sounds
Can I get the
intense.
script? Like, is this written out? I'd love to
Is
send
it like
it.
Squid Games? Like,
So I send it after 2, but not before 1?
do I come out whole? Is the question like,
Who dies?
do I
at the
come
end of
out the
this?
same when I went in this shit? Like,
Always the other person.
I'm always good. Either way.
I did actually have a question though. Like, is that a conversation that you have? Because that I feel like is always my struggle. Where I'm like, okay, you text me, I didn't text you back, and you text me again, I didn't text you back, and you keep texting me, and I'm not texting you back.
Yeah,
and
see,
you're
that's the
not
kind of
getting it.
stuff I be on right there.
And
they're
and
like
it's
talking about my whole situation. Go ahead.
I'm like, do you send a text? Is it a conversation? Like, what do you do?
I think it's always a conversation. I feel like anytime it's not a conversation, then it's on me. You know what I'm saying? And even if I choose not to fuck with you no more, I could still come back around, be accountable, and be like, I ghosted, that was fucked up, that was emotionally immature, whatever. Yeah. But the people I'm thinking of in my head, it's like, we've had multiple conversations, and we got to that last conversation, and I told you, hey, you fucking with me, and you know how I am.
Yeah.
It's either,
And you keep trying to push the button. You push the button, you gotta go. But I think just in general, the older I get, the more I am accepting over and over again that life is going to be filled with difficult conversations. And you cannot shy away from that shit.
Yuck.
Yeah, and that's the part. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those.
You don't? I don't mind
Can
the
we send a
conversation.
gift?
I don't. You know why I
meme?
don't mind though? Because if we have the conversation, therein lies the growth.
True.
Right,
Because
so-
we had to have one of those.
Yeah,
We had one of
were
those.
friends for like 2 or 3 years during COVID.
Yeah.
I really pissed him off. It was bad.
Yeah.
I could imagine that.
It was.
Could you
I
really?
can imagine you said some slick shit.
Oh, well, thank you for confirming. I appreciate it.
But
yeah,
but also too, it was like I understood it was a lot of stuff going on. Also at the
Yeah.
time for you, like,
Yeah.
and also for me personally at the time, I was just like, man, I ain't trying to deal with it. I ain't want to address it. So I was like,
Yeah.
man, just leave it. And
Right.
then, hey, he tracked me down, and we had a conversation, and
Don't
here
make
we
it
are.
sound stalkerish.
No, Oh,
You
my
you
bad.
emailed him.
Yeah.
100%. You're a double
he
texter
blocked you
for
on
sure.
everything else.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
just
you're a triple texter for
I
sure.
used to be. But then they got that shit where you can delete it now. Out of there. You won't see shit. Edit. Yes. But no, yeah, we had the conversation, but like you got to have the conversation. To me, and that says men too. A lot. I know that men are not as quick to have talks. I know I've been through this with a lot of my guy friends. Hell, I lost some guy friends this way too, where they just wouldn't have the conversation when you bring it. Even when you were trying to have a conversation that was positive, it's just whatever it was that was rubbing them wrong about that particular conversation. That could have been a conversation like, hey, I just don't like the approach, or I don't like the topic, or I don't feel comfortable because in my life where I'm at right now, that just doesn't align with what I got going on. I just don't. Any of that shit would have worked, but like not having the conversation, you're skipping growth.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just it's growth.
There's been a couple of times where Brittany and I had to have not like a hard conversation, but just like a let's get on the same page type of conversation. And me being the person that I am, I'm like, like I'm just pretending like it doesn't exist. And then Brittany's like, so I had something to talk to you about.
I was about to say, we need her version too. Do you have a version? Because if you have a version, it might be the real one.
No, Becky was not there at the time, thankfully, because Becky would have just been making jokes the whole time.
Becky, keep us in the loop.
But you know what happened at the end of the conversation was like we both realized we were actually on the same page. It just we missed the communication a little bit. But if we don't have the conversation, then we're like tiptoeing around it. And I would have been okay tiptoeing all day long. I would have been like, oh, whatever, didn't happen. Sure. And I appreciate having people like that in my life that make me uncomfortable because the thing is, like you said, if you don't have the conversation, we don't grow. And from that, I realized, oh, okay, me and Brittany we're always on the same page. Like, I don't have to worry about that. We can just talk about it.
You're two cars on the same highway.
Yeah.
One of my friends told me that a long time ago, and it stuck. He said, you know, you got to realize sometimes people that you talk to, you're going the same direction. You just don't communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in two different cars. You're same old highway, same speed, but you just don't communicate, and that's okay. So,
And I had to learn to communicate specifically with her. And I think that's particular to everybody. Like certain people, I always joke with Brianna before we start. I was like, oh my God, you're getting me ready for partnership because the way I have to bite my fucking tongue sometimes. But and it's not out of like anything with her. Like I can't say, it's more so like I said, the first version of what comes to my mind to say is not helpful.
Or nice.
That's why it's not helpful. It's not helpful at all. And I gotta 48 hour it. I gotta talk it out, whether that's in the shower or with somebody else on the phone or whatever.
for sure.
Because to me, and all of it speaks to me at the end of the day, I love her and I fuck with her. So I'm not about to like let me and my ego or whatever fuck up my relationship with her just because I have something to say. When at the end of the day, it comes down to like, you know, it's how you felt. It's like, oh, I felt this way, but I want to get clarity on it. Or like, it's really some softer shit once you take all the tough part off. But I like, you know, I'm me and I grew up in Oakland and like, I am my dad's kid and just how I move and speak. Like, but it pushes me to oftentimes have to like bite your tongue, sit with it, see if it's worth saying. And honestly, 70% of the time, it's not worth saying.
Yeah. And it's critical to our partnership because it's like if Brittany talks to me any old kind of way, I shut down. Like, and I may not even say anything. We don't have an argument. We don't do anything. It's just, I will just do. And then she'll be like, well, why aren't you doing this? And why aren't you doing that? And it's because she said something I didn't like 3 weeks ago and I just never said it. You know, so it's like we had to learn, like, I have to understand that sometimes Brittany get a little spicy. And I can't get in my feelings every time. I get in them a lot of time, but not every time. And Brittany also had to learn, like, okay, Brianna's a little, you know, you gotta be a little gentle. You gotta come up, give me the third draft. I don't want the first one. I don't want that one.
But how do you gauge your audience is the question, because that goes back to something we talked about too, like knowing your audience as far as when you're, especially when you're evolving. Like, how do you gauge your audience? Like, how do you do that? How do you know when you're being triggered and when you should speak about being triggered? How do you know when you're triggering? Like, how do you gauge that?
Trial and error a little bit.
Oh,
Like, we had, like, now we're there. I feel like earlier on, we had moments where I definitely felt
I
like.
did not want to do it. Like,
Oh,
I was
yes.
excited about the pod, and then I had one work day with Brittany where we worked, I think it was like 10 hours straight on the pod. This was like early stages. Brittany's a bit of a workhorse.
You had help for that 10 hours?
Help? What do you mean?
I did all that shit by myself.
See?
No, yeah,
We're the same. We're the same.
bro,
We're
I
We
did
did
all-
it
like,
together.
we're gonna do it until we figure it out.
YouTube the shit out of this. I did all this.
Thank you.
I figured it out.
I need a break, and Brittany don't believe in breaks.
That's crazy.
And I
That's
was
so
like,
nice.
there's no way that I can do this. Like, there's no way. I don't like how she works. I don't like how she talks. I don't like that she rejects all my ideas. I don't like any of this. Like, how, and for me, it came down to, like, I don't feel, and now this is now a different thought, but I don't feel psychologically safe to have vulnerable conversations because I don't like what happens when she don't like what I have to say. And there's probably going to be things that she doesn't. And I think over time.
Yeah.
We came to give you
hold
a
on,
little
man.
accountability. You know
But
what
no,
I'm saying?
I was
Hold on, Peanut Gallery back. Yeah. Like, oh, you got him riled up now. He didn't want to tell me. He wanted to tell me this shit for 10 years.
I'll write that one down.
Yeah, go ahead, tell him, man. Get off your chest. Shit.
You know?
Nah,
Oh,
yeah.
go ahead. No.
I was also gonna say too, sometimes when people know how, because you've been rocking with a person so long, you know them. Sometimes if you know how they're gonna react and you don't want to deal with it, that will also make you avoid things too. Like I know all my partners, I know all their personalities, so I already know if you gonna come at me with fire. Hell no, I ain't finna deal with that shit.
Exactly.
I'm not
For what?
finna-
Why would I put myself in that situation?
But let me play God's advocate because I don't like saying devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Come on, guys.
Who am I to say who you are today? Who am I to say that you haven't evolved or something hasn't changed in your life? Because we all have the same 24, right? So what if something happens today that completely changed the narrative of my life in depth? Like I lose my legs today or some shit, right? Like I'm probably not going to be this. For the love of God, please don't take my legs. but I'm probably not going to be the same version of me that I was yesterday when I had legs. Like that's just a crazy example. But you get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but also too, you got to realize if I know you, that's over seeing you day in, day out for some months, years. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's already kind of like ingrained. Like, man, I know how he react. I know how he move. This, like, you get what I'm saying? So
Did you
that's
think I was going to email you?
no.
So then that proves my point. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You don't really know what a person goes through to reach the point where they're like, you know what, I need to do something different.
But also
it can
too,
literally be just like that. Like it can happen.
But look at the time that took to get there.
And a breakup.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
I'm on his side now.
I need you to not.
But you
call
see
it
how
that.
long it took to get there.
But to be honest, in my particular, for me personally, at that point, I was there, but I just took time off from all my friendships to get myself together further. I went to therapy. I did all these things. That was my choice, though.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
I feel like I probably could have had the conversation with you at that time, just because I was going to therapy and it was dictating that I do things differently. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I got to try. So trial and error. It just sucks that you didn't get to see that me thereafter until like 2 or 3 years later. But
Yeah.
my question is like, how do you gauge when? Like, how do you know that the person hasn't change? Like, how do you?
It's data input. You
Yeah.
know,
That's
like,
it, that's
when
what I'm
I'm
saying.
thinking
You
about
think so?
like
That's the
it
day-to-day.
is. Like it's if I'm in relationship with this person. I know when we say that, a lot of people think romantic, but it's like I'm in a constant relationship with her.
Right.
So that means I gotta rock with her through all her stages of growth, and I have to fucking pay attention.
Yeah.
So like, there's certain things I can say to Bree now that are more direct that I know she can take, and it won't be taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
But that's over time that we've gotten there, and I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm paying attention to her. And literally, how I know that is at one point I said something to her, and she said to me, "Oh no, I didn't take it the wrong way. I know you just be direct sometimes." And I went, "Oh, okay. So
Reach that
now
level.
I can start delivering this, but it doesn't mean I have to back off of my delivery. It just means, hey, she's moved this way. I've gotten better at my delivery. This is where we're at now." And there's constant input of data of like me paying attention to this person.
Yeah.
Because if I give a fuck about this relationship, I got to pay
And
attention.
you know what else it is? It's me trusting that Brittany is also doing the work, because I'm not going to feel like she's going to, speak any better if she doesn't speak any better. So if she's still doing the same thing over and over and over again, then I'm not going to expect that her behavior has changed.
So then, when you say, "How do you get when do I give people grace?" What if all of those times of me being your friend for all this long and trying to have these conversations of growth, like I'm trying to move our conversation to a different room. Like, I just want to move this.
Yeah.
What if I've given you grace through? I've been trying to like coach you through these not that I'm trying to push you in any particular direction, but what if I've clearly changed my conversation, so I'm trying to go in a different direction, and you're not receiving that well? So then, at what point does it become, okay, we need to part ways? Like that's my question. Like, how are you gauging that? There's got to be a hard stopping point for most people,
There's
right?
got to be forgiveness applied. You got to be able to move forward. You can't be stuck in the past. If you can't get over it, then you got to go. Yeah.
So what about when the conversation? So for instance, let's say you're in a relationship, and you are. So here's a good. You're not. So this won't work. And you've been in relationships, so this won't work. But was there ever a point where like it just reached an apex where you're like, I can't do this anymore? And what did you do? How did you handle it? And what got you to that point? And what made you say, you know what, I am going to just say, fuck this shit? Like, how did that work for either one? Either one you could take it. Uh-oh.
I would say, when I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't recognize who I was, like physically, because I was depressed and gaining weight, but just like, I just didn't like what I saw, like who I had become, how small I was, how quick to anger I was, the drugs I was doing, like who I had become. I looked at myself and I was like, oh no, I wasn't this way 2 years ago. And that's when I realized like, oh yeah, we got to cut it, because I was afraid at that point, like I was never going to get back to that. And to be honest, I never did. I thankfully became something better because of that scenario. But I just, I knew that I had to let it go, because I didn't like what I saw. I told you, but many things. I didn't like that one.
Yeah. We'll probably hear about the other, how many multiplicities.
Yeah. It's getting multiple personalities.
I would say the same thing. Like, I think about in the sense of a romantic relationship, like I got married and divorced by the time I was like 25. And I was the one who asked for the separation and the divorce. And it was like, I hated who I had become. And I don't blame them for who I had become. I was in a situation where I wasn't emotionally prepared to do any of that. I wasn't even close to mature enough to have made the decisions I was making. And I was just reacting out of my immaturity, out of my own ego. But the stuff I was doing was so fucked up that I was like, I don't even like me. I got to get out of this. Like, I got to get out of this, because like, I'm going to continue to hurt you, because I also know that you love me so much that you're going to allow me to keep doing shit. And you're going to try to like grace me out of this. And I know I'm going to completely manipulate that. I'm going to miss you. Like, I need to get the fuck up out of here. And I also knew that like who I was becoming was also depressing me. Even though I was choosing who I was becoming, it was depressing me. And I was like, I got to get out of here and get my shit together. And then in a friendship perspective, the opposite of that was like, with a friend, I'm like, I'm giving you grace. But like I said, I'm like, my grace, it's not that it only extends this far in the sense of like, I can't still love you. Like the person I'm thinking of in my head, I still pray for her all the time, but I'm not about to have a relationship with her. It's just the reality of it. Like, and
That's real though.
it's like, it just is. Like, I gotta go at some point. I'm trying to, I don't want to act on savior complexes. I don't want to save you. You know what I'm saying? And if I keep trying to like do this shit with you, that's
where it can get dangerous. Like, especially like with this the kind of personality, it's like that. Man, I want to like wherever I can help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. Like, let me pull you up. Like, we both gonna make it. Like that kind of deal.
But you know, like T would always say this shit. He said, "Somebody got to be a trash man, Drew." I was like, what does that mean?
Somebody gotta be trash.
He's like, but what he was saying is like everyone has a place in life. So you're talking about pulling someone up. They might be comfortable where they're at.
And that's what I had to tell. Yeah, that's what I found out.
So everybody's got to be a trash man. Yeah. Some people got to be the banker. Some people everyone has a role in life. And so that's where I found myself having a hard time. It's like, I want this role where I have enough to be able to provide for people, and I have a platform, and I can share it with people, and I can exchange information, do all that. These are things, this is how I see myself, right? Everyone around me is not going to see that shit. No one wants to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go put an episode out. No one wants to go do all these things on ChatGPT and revise how this says this. And how does this look? How does this sound? Like, no one wants to grammatically correct a profile. No one wants to do any of these little nuanced things that you have to do to continue this thing to go. Like, it takes a lot of work, right? So I had to realize, everyone doesn't want the same thing that you do. Everyone doesn't even want success like you do.
True.
Everyone doesn't even want you to be successful.
I hated that one, though. I never want to think that, because that makes me feel arrogant. I want to think that maybe they just haven't found their lane of success yet. Maybe this is just
sometimes that is it. Like, trying to figure out your own thing. Like, okay, I see you out here doing your thing. Okay, what's my thing?
Yeah.
But let that person not necessarily be your guide, though. Like, I don't see my friends in that light. Like, I have a friend that became a VP of some finance firm like a month ago. We were college roommates. We don't talk about that shit when we go hiking. Like, we just be out there talking about shit, like just regular guys. Or we might talk about investments or things of that nature, but we don't talk about titles and such.
No, I got you on that.
So, but they say like misery loves company. And I remember like when I was at that point in my life in that relationship, I had all types of friends, and we loved to talk about our men and my baby daddy did this and we would swap trauma. Now it's trauma, but before it was just like, oh girl, what is
swapping?
We were literally trauma swapping. And when my trauma stories became less and less and less, and then I didn't have anything to share, it was like, oh,
what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? Or I must think I'm better or whatever. And then to your point, when I was like, okay, like let's put trauma to bed. Let's do something else. They weren't ready to do that, because we sometimes get into partnership with our trauma because it's comfortable.
Yes, comfortability.
That's it.
Yeah, and so sometimes
just made me think of something. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean it's all good, but like sometimes people just love the space that they're in, and and because of that, they want you to dwell, because they love you, or for whatever compatibility you have, they want you to stay, so they don't want you to be successful.
It's like, for me, I'd be trying to talk about like investments, right? And this person would be trying to talk about titties and ass. It's like,
come on,
yo, bro, I'm not there. And I don't give a shit anymore. Like, that's the thing. When I was 22, yeah, cool, bring them, bring all of them. Yeah, whatever. Like, but I'm like, bro, I don't care. I got a kid and I have a daughter, for one thing. So my brain is just, it doesn't even impress me anymore like that. So like, I kept trying, like I say, move conversations. And some people just were still, and it wasn't just him, it was multiples, like just still resided in this space of just fuckery. I'm in a space of build. I want to build and scale and build and scale and legacy.
And the thing is, if those people are stuck there, you got to leave them there.
But it's hard for me to even talk to them. I may sound like a prick, but I don't want to talk to y'all anymore. I want to talk to people that are building and growing and scaling and evolving in whatever capacity that is for you. It doesn't have to be podcasting and real estate, all the shit that I like. It could be whatever you like. If you like stocks and bonds, you like annuities, you like building houses, you like owning food trucks, I don't give a shit. But be doing something. Like, be moving the needle forward. I just can't sit in these mundane conversations anymore. I know it sounds horrible. I don't think
it sounds horrible.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, well then we're in the right room.
But I get what you're saying.
I do have a question for y'all, because y'all were on like the relationships, even with like friendships and stuff. Once you get out of something, how do you keep yourself out and not go back?
I feel like he's trying to escape our friendship. See, like, he said, "Why the hell did I answer this email?"
That's the one part of my cut people off that I kind of do low-key enjoy. It's like once I've decided that that's happened, I'm very like, your number is gone, all your social media is gone.
Because that's where a lot of people fall into that trap where you end up going back, man. Like, man,
you know how we are on this side.
Look at you broke up. Well, damn.
I've been on that side.
Look here.
I'm sorry.
I still fuck with you though, man. Come on over, man.
I just
Remember you pointed that out about me one time and you were like, damn. Like,
your cutoff game is really mighty strong.
Yeah.
Strong and mighty.
My cutoff game with my friends wasn't that strong. My cutoff game in my past dating life was just strong. It was but with my friends, I think it's because of time on task. I think that's why I had the hardest time because of tenure. And I had to learn in my life too that tenure doesn't mean shit because you can have the best experience in the world with a person you've known for like a week, right? And you can know this person for like 10 years and have nothing but trauma to swap. So like for me, I had to learn that like, time doesn't mean shit. Like tenure is not as important to me as quality. So it's quality over quantity for me. So
I think for me, I just knew that I didn't like that life.
Which life?
The when he asked like how do you walk away and don't return, I just knew that I didn't want to go back to that. But what was hard for me is I kept glamorizing and romanticizing all the good stuff, and I made them like way more glamorous than it was. Like homie probably put some like Toll House cookies in the oven. I was like, but that one time he made me cookies, and then like and I made it like much bigger than it was. And so I had to like I mean I know people say like delete the pictures, but like I kept a lot of stuff because I had like text messages of him going off, cussing me out. I had all this stuff, and anytime I would think like, okay, maybe I want him to make me cookies again, I would go back and read that and remind myself of now you remember how you was acting back. Do you want that again?
Okay, I see what you did. You used it as a reminder, basically.
Yeah.
Putting your finger on like what in you is attracting that is important, and I say that because I was literally just journaling about this today because it's easier for me to do it with. This is going to sound fucked up, but when it comes to my friendships, that's a little easier than it's been for relationships, but specifically romantic relationships where I was actually very invested in it. Because I've had a lot of romantic relationships where I was like, I don't really give a fuck. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let the rotation be what it is. Somebody dropped off, go draft another nigga. Like, what does it matter? Yeah. But like when I really was like open and emotionally vulnerable to a person, and then it became a lot harder. But I had to pinpoint like for myself, like what is it about that relationship that's causing you to glamorize it? And for me, in those romantic relationships, I was like, oh, I have this wound about a very emotionally unavailable father. And every single time I'm in this relationship with these people that I'm attracting, that I can't get rid of, I'm glamorizing all these other things and not listening to all the actual shit that they did and how they not showing up and all these different things because I'm longing after them wanting to, I want them to want me the same way I wanted my father to want me. You know, and my father wants me. Sorry for all the. My father's in my life. My parents are married and all the things, but it's just the reality of what you experience when you grow up.
And like, your father was a pastor, so like, of course, emotional availability.
Oh my God!
Oh, you pastor?
Oh yes.
Oh,
wait. Father, grandma, sister, mom, uncle, everybody.
Church.
Ooh. Church, baby.
I got you.
She's like, I got you. You're not from the South? You're like rooted like, that's like
all my family's from the South.
Oh, there we go. That's it. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
I was thinking, she made me lose my train of thought. We'll go ahead. And I was just thinking about
I had to bring myself back in.
I started thinking about all my church experiences.
It's wild.
Yes. So what else did you guys have for us? I'm curious. Come on, Trevor. I'm going to make you think today. I know we got stuff.
Can I ask the flip side about that,
Do
though?
Do that.
When is the time where you're able to realize that, like, it's your ego playing into elitism?
Ooh.
You know, like, to think I've grown, so therefore I can't waste my time with y'all type of thing. And not to say you have to stay in it, but it is to say how much judgment is tied in there to allow yourself to bring the separation.
That's a tough question.
That is a tough question.
Because I will say that's one I've had to constantly be mindful of and check myself. Like, I do quietly, like, in my back of my mind, like, oh, my boy over here, he was doing this. Oh, you over here, you got the 2 baby mamas. I'm over here like,
oh, you're that friend.
Yeah, but again, that's ego. So I got to check myself on that. Like, well, if you were in his shoes, wouldn't you have done the same thing? I'm like, if you had the same opportunity sometimes, would you have done? I was like, yeah, shit, probably would have. Probably would have been worse. I probably would have stayed with the first one. With all the crazy shit. I would have worse. I ain't just being 100 because I know myself. I'm like, damn, I probably, it would have been way worse.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? So
being cognizant of, like, I think you just got to be aware of who you are throughout the process. Like, you can't let yourself get altered by what you're doing. Like, we all do podcasting, right? So we could get an air of, like, cockiness. I've seen it in the studio. I'm not gonna say any names, but I've seen it where it's like, it's like, yo, none of us are famous. Like, but I mean, you could get lost in stuff like that. And I think that's what happens. I think people get lost in what they're doing and let that become who they are. You got to be rooted in who you are, no matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much you make, what your status is, also, what you're doing. You got to be rooted.
Also, too, on that, you also got to constantly check yourself because that can also go off the rails. Like, if you don't have no checks and balances in your life, man,
or
like,
people that'll
then it allows your head to get big.
You need people that are going to check you. Like, for instance, we're doing merch soon, right? I sent my brother a design. Like, this is like about a year ago. He goes, that shit is terrible. I was like,
that's funny.
You know, I worked on that shit for like 5 hours, and I thought it looked phenomenal. He's like, nobody wears that shit. Like, why would I was
Yikes.
like, I revamped shit. Like, but I mean, if he wasn't that bluntly honest, I go print 100 of these things, try to sell them, and nobody buys them. Like, why didn't you tell me that shit was awful? So you need the people that will also check you too.
Yes,
in conjunction with you checking yourself at every turn. So.
Yeah, I mean, I also think it's like, how many people have you helped? Like, you know, what's that saying? Each one, teach one, or something like that. Where it's like, if I've gone to this next level, who have I helped bring along the way? For me, I got my master's last year, I definitely had my ego. You know what I'm saying? I was like, not me with all my degrees.
Let them know.
Let these basic bachelor bitches. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
We need that,
right? I want to get it.
But I had to like really check myself and be like, okay, you have these degrees, but like, what are you doing? And why does it matter that you have these degrees if like it's just you in the room? And you know, I work in a very white industry, and so for me, it's really important. Like, everywhere that I can, I want to bring in somebody brown. Black, brown, something. That's like really, really important for me. And so I decided to mentor women who have gone through my program or maybe interested in my field, because I'm like, you know what, this is a way that I can give of myself and remind myself, like, I'm not that. I mean, if I'm doing it, they finna do it. They're coming up right behind me. Like, I'm not that important.
Do you know how I figured out that I was like this small? I took 4 grams of mushrooms.
Oh, I love
like the drug. Oh,
okay.
I saw.
They changed my life
in a day. That's why I told you.
You
really don't know.
You told me.
The person I was before I took that shit is not him. Like, it's not.
So
I was like, yo,
humbling.
you were so goddamn.
Were you in nature too?
I got a little bit, not much, but the next time I do it, I'm going completely in.
Because that'll make you
immersion.
feel even smaller.
Full immersion. Yeah, but I was like, you're not. Why are you so fucking cocky? Like, I wasn't an asshole, but like, you start to realize, like,
That's cool.
probably.
A little bit.
I don't know.
No, you're probably right. But I started to realize, like, I'm like this big. Like, there's these things that have like penetrated our atmosphere like 1,000 times on the news in the past few months. I'm like, they're way faster than you. You can't even fight them off. Like, so like you're such a small microcosm of like this big thing. So for me, like, that was my self-awareness. But I had to be like super self. You know, you took the journey.
Oh, I've taken the journey many times.
Oh, it's so great. You have
Fantastic.
I don't even smoke weed, bro.
What? Sorry. My pothead ass is like, how dare you? No.
I'm sorry.
I don't do no drugs.
I'm sorry.
good.
I
That's
might sip a little bit, but that's about as far as we
To all
gonna
our
go.
listeners, I'm sorry.
You live in your
sorry.
high. You're high every day. You're high on life.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm
There you
high every
go.
day too. On life.
Right?
In the form of herbs.
Yeah, right?
And brownies and cookies and cakes. And drinks, juices and shit,
Right?
lollipops. I'll tell you my lollipop story another time. Anyway. But yeah, like, to answer your question, being self-aware. you have to be cognizant of yourself throughout the process. I think that's what the total thing for that. But let me ask you a quick question. You said you work in a white
Industry.
I think we've worked in the same industry.
We have.
You do.
We've worked in the same industry because we're both in education.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about code switching? Because we talked about that too, and I wanted to ask. Now we're here now, so have you had to, or have you found yourself, either one of you?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's interesting as an educator.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
probably yes, but also too a lot of the things that y'all would consider code switching. That's in me. That's how I operate anyway. So a lot of that stuff, like,
Well, I think we all do. I mean, you don't talk to your mom the same way you talk to me, obviously. That's a form of it. I'm talking like where we have to switch, almost like lower the volume on ourselves a bit and kind of speak in a certain dialect or diction that would be more comfortable for other people. That kind of code switching. Because you said you've been in the white industry, so I found myself having, not intentionally, but I had to do it several times to keep myself from saying what I really want to say.
okay. In those situations, it's been a time or two. Yeah, I wanted to go off on somebody, but
But you never found yourself code switching? Really?
I think it's your. I mean, I can't speak for your experience, but I think the fact that you're a man might kind of have to play in that, because a lot of my code switching that I had to do in education, because I got to be my blackity black self with my students. We was turned. Like we was. No, I taught back in the Bay.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and I taught in Paso, which is a small wine country, but whatever. Yeah. I did a lot of code switching there because I was a predominantly white space. But I think for me, where I had to do a lot of switching is when I would talk to people that were either administrators or district, and they're typically male.
yeah,
Because when they're in leadership positions in the school system, it's typically a lot of men. So I have to code switch to not show up as the angry black woman.
Okay.
I have to code
Tropes.
switch to show you like my level of intellect. And that's why, like, sometimes I hang my hat on certain things about that I've accomplished. Like, to be able to walk in the room and be like, yeah, I have a degree in biochemistry. Like, who
that's
am
dope.
I?
That's
That
dope
is
as hell.
dope, right? But, like, to your point of being cocky about it, like, whatever, people have degrees in a bunch of shit. But I knew that when I walked into that space with those men, they were like, oh, you're a scientist? And they treated me differently.
right.
And the fact that I was a physical scientist, because they would treat a biology teacher different than they treated a chemistry or physics teacher that was a
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, you must be logical because you teach this thing. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, also your white mediocrity is going to always be below me. So fuck you. Like,
It's always
what are you
Science is
talking
science.
about?
All that shit is hard. Like,
Like, what are you
For real.
talking about? Like, so I definitely had to. I feel like my code switch in that experience wasn't to be people pleasing and nicer, because that's just a lot of my personality is just a little spicier, like we said. I was more so very straight faced, very reserved, very like cold, probably. And they were like, because I remember principals being like, yeah, we don't think Brittany likes us. You know, and it's like, but I got to treat you like that so you fucking respect me. And unfortunately, because these are the same people who are literally making lists with other male teachers about who the hottest teachers are and
shit.
like all types of crazy shit.
no.
So I'm like, no,
look
bitch, you
here.
about to respect
I
me.
would say I'm not in them loops.
You're not in them group chats.
I'm not in none of those.
you got that shit quick.
Nah, I'm not in none of those.
But you know what? To Brittany's point, as a woman in any industry, I would imagine that you have to like show up differently when you're dealing with men, because there's this fine line between friendly and flirting, fine line between like, are you sexualizing me in this moment? Am I coming across angry or too assertive, or maybe not smart enough, not using the right language? And so with men, you really have to be very careful, which I don't like the word careful, but you know, you have to be more intentional with the way that you speak, because they will judge everything based off of one conversation.
And
Especially
men are
white
very entitled to women, especially women that they are attracted to.
We're outnumbered, Trevor, don't say
Extremely
shit.
fucking
Well,
entitled.
no, I was gonna say, at least from what I've seen down here, anyway. I always thought like, and maybe it goes back to norms and stuff too. Like teaching, like was always like female dominated. Like that's why it's like especially for me being a male special ed, like they. I figured like, oh, okay, they need males, black males. So I'm like, figured I was good on that. But also too, again, personality wise, I'm smiling all the time.
Yeah.
So I come off friendly. Like, so that's not necessarily code switching for me. Or it's like a lot of the things that maybe like personality wise, I'm like, I don't have. So
What I mean when I say entitled, though, here's what I mean by that is like, if I enter a space with a man and they're attracted to me, they're going to misread just common decency and friendliness and want to proceed into my space, like all that type of shit, and be hella inappropriate simply because I was being nice to you.
They gonna take it as a sign.
Exactly, it's a sign.
That's how she
Like, she told me my beard was lined up today. I know that bitch wanted. Like,
exactly.
Nigga, no.
Like, I actually don't. I
go
just,
automatically to 10.
Your beard usually look a fucking mess, and it look good today. So I told you. But then it's like, why you? Then they're like,
can't get to you
like that energy, you know?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not that man. No, I'm not
I
him.
wouldn't do that. But yeah, like, I mean,
You know what's funny though? Like if you ever come across your black coworkers in a space, you know, y'all both code switching, and then somebody has to like say the term, like, but it's only one term. Do you like test the water to see if they gonna get black with you? And then they say something else, and you're like, okay, wait, can we have our moment? And then we have like our little hood moment.
We didn't get it. But I realized he was from Africa, so it wasn't.
He
really
didn't get it.
oh, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah.
We don't,
It's not the same.
They don't even have a code.
Yeah.
So he didn't know what I was doing. So I was trying to. It didn't work out.
I tried to do that one time, and they left me on red, and I was like, really? You really gonna leave me hanging? I'm out
We're
here.
the only two here.
I'm out here.
That's
just
kind of how I feel
exposed.
with the other black ones at my place of work. So
Wait, you do or you don't?
like, nah, we don't really mesh.
Really?
Although too, it's different departments, so that also plays a role in it.
No, we all in the same department. This. Fuck, no, when I see you, you see me. We in the. If I see when I used to work at.
Also, no, I would say no, because I got two. I got one that's a science teacher. One is one of my principals.
Yeah.
Like, yo, maybe because, you know, I'm as a black, I'm friendly and shit. And you know, a lot of us, we walk around mean mugging and shit. It'll be cold. Like, dude, I be greeting the principal. He be like, yeah, what's up? And then like, he be like,
Wait, is the principal black too?
yeah, he be serious as fuck. Like,
Black
he
people.
don't,
Black
Like,
he
people.
don't never be friendly and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like,
boo.
damn, you at least say good morning.
Black
You
people.
see me down this hall.
When we black and brown people, when we see each other in a space
Just
that
speak.
we're not typically in, even if we are typically in,
Right?
when you
I'm
see
like,
me, just
even
say
see
what's
me.
up.
Hey, like,
even the science teacher, I be walking down the hall. I walk by her damn near every day. She be, you know, she be like, I be like, hey, how you doing?
y'all need to have a black meeting.
Y'all do. Y'all
And you don't
do.
have to like have your little, you know.
And the sad part is the science teacher, she over the
BSU?
huh?
The BSU?
Basically, yeah.
And she
Does she need to be?
wild. I was gonna say, is she
Does she need to be?
is she
Hell if I
black or
know.
is she pro black? Because those two different things.
Yeah,
That's a good question. I don't know that way.
I know,
you know,
where
it's
I am
only
on,
been
I know
my
we're
secret.
on this side.
Go
of the
in there and
Pro.
introduce yourself and see, like, give it a little, but not too much because we're still women and we're nervous, right? But like, try not the principal because then that has the power dynamic thing in there. I don't know, but like, if it's enough, try a little. Let me not give you this advice, and you come. I listen to it in the next week's episode. It's like, then this bitch slapped me in the face.
and then I got fired.
Yeah, ask her about
Do
the
we all watch
1619 project.
Insecure?
Don't talk about it.
Do we all watch Insecure? Have we all seen it?
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Okay, so do you remember, was that the last season when that black girl came in Molly's
Oh
office?
yeah.
And Molly was,
Yes.
you know, on her professional, and Mama came in just giving whatever she wanted to give. Have you all ever been in a situation like that?
I had a paraeducator that was.
For those who haven't watched Insecure, which if you haven't watched Insecure, you can do that. But what
Go,
this
go,
is
go,
scenario
I'm
was
trying
that.
to think. I think I might have actually.
Okay,
Oh
so
yeah, the hospital. Oh hell
Okay,
yeah.
so the
Yeah,
scenario was
yeah,
that so Molly is like in a corporate setting, and then someone came in and she was being very hood, and then Molly felt uncomfortable about like the fact that Molly had to,
They're like the only two black women.
and
in
they
the
were the
office,
only
right?
two black
Yeah,
people
yeah.
in the office, and so Molly had a conversation like, "Hey, homegirl to homegirl, chill," and it didn't go well. So that just a little context.
I've
for
had
people who
that
haven't.
at the hospital.
where you had to calm down.
I'm not calling anybody.
No,
No, he brought his pistol because he wanted to get into it with another employee. I was like, this is a hospital. What? We don't do that here.
It's very federally illegal.
yeah, like, bro, what are you doing? Bro, this ain't it. Like, you got a job at the hospital. Why are you doing all that? So yeah, I've been in that scenario before.
Yeah.
nah.
You have not? You haven't had no scenarios. I'm not trying to say you need them, but you're lucky. I've experienced some shit.
Yeah, I've been around white White situations
I
all
don't
the
know
time.
if that's lucky. Never mind. I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding, man.
I feel like I have, and it's very uncomfortable because I already kind of talk the way that I talk, which is Midwestern, but some people would say it's white, or have a dialect that feels a little more white. And so, like, when I'm talking to people and I'm like, hey, this is homegirl to homegirl.
Wait, can you say that again? Can you start from the beginning? Hey, homegirl to homegirl.
Hey, homegirl to
You know what that
homegirl.
sounds like? That sounds like when they try to tell you.
I love it.
That's the did you get the email? Hey, like, did you get the okay.
I gotta, jazz it up a little bit, but yeah, and sometimes those conversations don't go well. I've had at least one that I remember where it did not go well.
I remember who you talking about.
Yeah, and so it's
Did
like
you get beat up?
I didn't get beat up, but
It got rough.
it got a little aggressive.
She shake you up a little bit.
She didn't get shook up.
Okay.
She was wildin'. The lady was
Shake
wildin'.
me. Yeah, the lady
She was
was the
wildin'.
lady was like very inappropriate, and I was like her manager. So like the dynamic, she shouldn't have been acting like that. But she turned up, and I was just like, okay, well, you're written up, and I guess you're just gonna keep living the way you're living.
Oh my god. She got beat up, didn't she?
If we were on the street, she might have beat me up. I saw a really funny TikTok that was like, I could beat up like girls like me, but like people ain't got nothing to lose. They gon' really
On the street, I would have got in my car and drove off. I'm not fighting with you.
Yeah, I'm not fighting with people that got stuff to lose. I got a master's degree. We started the episode with that.
It's in my, I don't have time in my schedule to fight with you today.
Literally.
Gotta go.
I'm busy.
Now, if we're on the same, then maybe, but nah.
I had a paraeducator. So it's like if you have a certain amount of kids with 504 plans, IEPs.
Hey, you
get-
speaking my language right now.
You have
I'm lost.
you have a certain amount of kids that they identify as on
Inclusion?
the
inclusion person?
spectrum. Yeah, I guess it's called that out here. It was
Yeah,
called something
because
else
that's what
in
I
Cali.
do. That's what I do.
So I had one of those, and she was a lot. She was a lot. And I remember she would always be like, this is anti-black. And I'm like, bitch, what? Like,
We're both
I'm here. And all our kids in this room are black. What the fuck are you talking about?
Nah, but it's anti-black.
Right? And she would just be like, but my
man.
thing is like, you are so wild that you are just, the kids are telling you to calm down so they can get their work done.
Oh, no.
Like it was that
no,
lit that I
that's
was
bad.
like,
Nah.
you can blame this
that's
on whatever you
bad.
want to, but like,
doing
bitch,
too
you
much.
wildin'.
Yeah.
She's like the
That's-
character from Abbott Elementary that won't stop like pop locking and
Oh,
showing the kid.
Ava?
Principal Ava.
Yeah.
Principal
So
Ava.
Ava and then the Hispanic girl
watch
that's the
this, man.
assistant. She's just
Oh.
Ava's little homegirl.
That when you asked me
Oh,
what
you haven't
episode
watched
I
this
was
shit?
on, that's
Oh,
where I'm
my
at.
No, that sounds funny
Yes,
as
it's
hell.
the second
I'm like,
episode of her.
She is hilarious. Like the little homegirl. Oh, she's the best.
They don't. Okay, I'm not gonna ruin it because
Don't ruin it because I'm still behind. I'm right when she
Ava's
pops
hilarious,
up.
though.
Ava's funny.
Ava is hope.
I for sure have had a principal exactly like Ava.
That's real.
I had a principal who was like Ava. I had a principal who was like a functioning alcoholic that would come to school smelling like whiskey.
See, that's
out
what
of her
I don't
pores.
like.
That's why like when people are looking at Abbott
These
being
the
like,
people
it's a
educating our
parody. I'm like,
kids?
Unfortunately.
no, this is real. This is,
Unfortunately.
yeah.
My daughter's getting
It's
homeschooled.
wild.
That's over.
And the stories I've heard already just this year, like,
No.
I had a teacher try to explain to me why it's okay to call some black people the N-word.
What was the reason?
Some people are just N-words. Like,
Are they black?
no, she was white. That was her reasoning. And I was like, what do you mean by like
I want to take her everywhere I go.
And a student,
so
I just
people
want to take her so I can just let her talk. Put a battery in her back and let her go.
a student tried to help in this conversation. She was like, yeah, there's like black people like you, and then there's like N-words.
No, did she use the actual word?
Oh,
Shit, that's the Chris Rock bit. She watched that
She-
shit and then applied it to
yes.
life.
Yeah, this don't sound real.
my mom, and I told my mom because I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, of course I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm not an N-word. Like, I was like, okay, sure.
You put these together just like so.
What do I say? I mean, it was like in lecture form. Like it was like a dialogue. Like it was like a lecture at the end of the class that she just felt like she needed to get it off her chest.
Wait a minute, pause. This was your professor?
Yeah, and I was in high school.
Are you more of an open hand or a closed? 'Cause I like open.
I mean, at the time it should have been closed hand, but I think I was just so like shocked. I was just like, what is
Didn't know
this
what to
To
do.
happening?
the class. This wasn't to you. This was to
This
the
was
class.
to the class. Like she got done with her lesson or whatever.
You know that's the Midwest.
Oh yeah. She got done with her lesson, and we were like, I don't know, talking about something. I think a girl brought up like something that happened, and she was like, well, yeah, like, you know, there's like black people, then there's N-words. And I was like,
have you seen the teacher that just got her legs, bro?
No.
no.
I'm like, my students from the Bay fought teachers off of much less.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
When I tell you, my mom came up there ready
Acting like a real nigga, right?
I'm talking about burn.
Not the ER either.
Burn the high school down. This girl got like, the girl who chimed in, talking like, yeah, it's you. And then
Oh, did she get drunk too?
she got
Co-sign?
2 week suspension.
Good.
And
2 weeks,
the teacher
damn.
got suspended for like a week, but we had like intermittent subs. It was just so weird.
You know my problem with that? There's no repercussions for like
No.
that kind of shit.
And then it was
like-
uncomfortable because then I was still in the class. So
That's
like,
wild.
And you wonder why we code switch.
You got suspended probably with pay to go sit at home and sleep for 7 days. I would love to get suspended.
No, she
Literally.
went home and was probably screaming hard ER all over the
oh,
house.
you already know. She's like, Chris Rock said it.
Yeah, like, that's terrible, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's like, there's Brianna and then her mom and she was a nigga.
But then there's the ER. Granddad told me about those ERs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I felt like there were white teachers at the school that would do racist shit. And I'm like, I know them kids probably solidified every negative stereotype that you had by their response.
Yeah.
Because they whooped your ass. But also, whatever. Like,
Here's a question. Is our response time too fast now? Remember we talked about this the other day about social media playing into that?
Oh yeah.
About how everything's so quick, like clickbait. Switch,
Well, if somebody
switch,
calls
switch,
you the N-word, I feel like you need a quick response.
Do you though? Depends on what you got on the line. I don't have.
It depends.
I don't have a quick response.
That's so true.
That's
That's so true.
I don't
That's
have
a
a
hot
quick
take.
response for nobody no more. Y'all can have all that shit. Yep.
And sometimes
Cool.
if
Whatever.
your response is so quick, you'll fuck up your shit, man. Like,
It
cause
depends,
it's
like-
what the first thought that comes to your mind, like, oh no, fuck, like, oh shit.
What
you
did
just-
Boondocks call it? A nigga moment?
Yeah. That. So like, nah, you'll have a moment like that. Nah,
We should be
and it-
allotted one per month, like
it's part of our reparation deal.
federal
Yeah.
level, just
Federally
one per month.
mandated one
As long
N-word
as I'm not
moment.
murdered, I can beat his ass. Though. I can just put my choke the shit out this dude. Like, we should be allowed one a month, but I think our response time is so quick, just based on society now. Like everything we get is so instantaneous. Like everything, whether it be GoPuff or Amazon or Twitter or Instagram, anything that you get is like so quick. So I think it's also messing with our psyche. I think it's playing into how we actually respond in real time. Like we put the phone down, the response time doesn't go down with the phone. Like you're still going to innately respond the way that what you're used to. So how do you guys feel about response time in relation to everything that we've been talking about? Ego, how you gauge your relationships. Like, how does response time play into that too?
it's fucked it all up.
Great summary.
Enough said. All right.
No, like seriously,
I
cause
see him a goddamn thesis, and he says it fucked it all up.
I was trying to back it up with evidence.
That's like you the one dude in the class is E all the above. No, stop. Answer the fucking question. Like, answer the goddamn question. Shit. Every week, Trevor. Shit.
Hey,
Probably
you know,
ever.
Yeah, right. Like, come on.
That's funny. That's funny.
but no, like people can't function without their phones. These kids can't. This generation right now, they can't function.
But how does that affect your response time in society? Like, how does that affect how you interact with other humans in real time? Not like on the phone. I'm talking about how you actually respond to people in your relationships.
They don't know
Also-
how to.
Yeah.
They don't know how to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
They're also it's all about me. It's that selfishness, like because you don't know how to interact or you don't know about to think about the other person's feelings or you don't give a damn how you come off. It's just this is how I feel, so I'm gonna let you know. So you got a lot of that.
Yeah. And I would say also, like, I feel like because of the speed in which we need to respond, we feel like we have to have a response to everything. I was talking to Brittany the other day, like, my boyfriend, he's in music and he always asks me for feedback. And I've had to learn, like, sometimes I don't need feedback. Sometimes I just don't need to give you feedback every single time you ask for it. And I feel like in our society, we have to have the answer for everything. And it doesn't give us enough time to really ruminate.
Ruminate. There you go.
Ruminate. Let's put it on the screen. It doesn't give us enough time to really like ruminate over like our thoughts and really like say, is this really what I think? Or like, is this just something that's conditioned in me, you know?
I never
What say you?
heard that. Yeah, I completely agree. I think one of the things that I appreciate has happened more in education is like the introduction of social emotional learning. And that, to me, that's something we always needed. We needed to learn how to practice self-reflection or emotional regulation. But I think now more than ever, it's way more important for the next generation because of the immediacy. It's the instant gratification. It's the instant need this right now. I believe that's why things get escalated so quickly when it comes to fighting. Nobody's throwing fists. Everybody got to immediately go to the flap jammy, you know what I'm saying? And got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got to go to it. And
Those
on
are
top of
guns.
that, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure what language
I was
Brittany
like,
has now
thank you.
transitioned
I'm from the
into.
land of E40.
I saw it. They're like,
What?
There's an ooh-up involved.
Chat GPT.
The
What is
Latin
it?
word for ooh-up.
Thank you for the
Ooh-up
clarification.
Well, we mean a lot of things.
Blackies, hammers, gats,
Okay, I know some of those
Ninas,
things.
like,
And blicky.
specials,
There you
blickies,
But
sticks, poles. You want to keep
Right?
going? All right, go
You
ahead.
know a lot of words for
I
kids.
know.
I'm now concerned.
I used to listen to
As you should.
hip hop.
See?
I think that like it's decreasing our ability to emotionally regulate. And we already weren't that great at doing it before, and we're just making it worse and worse and worse. I get overwhelmed. I've talked about this in the podcast before. I get overwhelmed when like too many people are trying to like contact me at one time. Like if in 1 week, like 8 different people are trying to have a phone conversation, whether it's just a checkup or whatever, but it's like, it's this feeling of like, I know you got a phone, so I should have access to you whenever I feel like it. And it's like, no, you should not. Like, I need time to like have time to myself or process all that. But as far as like, it's only going to make ego worse, both through the lens of like your social media is literally, if I go get on my social media right now, go get on my stories, I'm getting on my stories to show the world what's going on with me because I want everybody to see it's all about you. And then on top of that, it's this immediacy and this need for instant validation and gratification. And if you don't get that instantly validated, you think there's something wrong with you. And it's like, bro, go the fuck outside. Like, seriously, put your phone away.
Say.
Go
And
touch some
go
grass, man.
outside.
Hug a
Like,
tree.
be on the streets for real. Like,
Yeah.
and when you go outside, put your fucking phone down and be
See,
outside.
that's what I'm saying. Kids, man, we had to go outside, play on the playground and stuff. You know,
I wish it was still daylight. We'd all go across the street and hug some damn trees right now.
bruh.
Do kids still play? on
No,
playgrounds?
like, nah, they
My
play video
kid- our
games
kids
all
don't
day
play, bro.
inside.
Nah.
They don't play.
I remember having to go to the rec
Not really,
center and
no.
everything. Shoot, play basketball. Man,
Can I
My
tell you-
great grandma was like, y'all asses better be outside.
Yes.
Look
She
at
had fruit trees. She had a water
lit.
hose, and she was like, figure it out until dinner.
Sound lovely.
Yeah,
Right?
look
I
at,
love that.
look at here,
need a
bump.
fruit tree.
Look here, bump beating the streetlights home. These kids already at home.
They stay at
Ben.
home.
They stay home.
Ben.
When's the last time we heard someone say you smell like outside?
Ooh,
Remember that?
yeah, I remember that
Are
one.
you from the South?
But I do know them.
Yeah.
I know. Outside probably stinks.
It's kind of like you smell like grass and sweat.
You smell like outside.
Yeah.
You probably smell like outside.
You smell
You
productive.
right. You probably
There you go.
You know, to practice mindfulness for myself, I practice disconnecting. I block people regularly.
like literally black people.
People that I even talk to every day, I block people regularly.
Why?
So I can get a fucking break. Like, if it's my phone, you'd be surprised.
Oh, because then your phone will ring it all the time, all day.
And I don't want to turn off my notifications because I have other shit in my phone
What
I
about
want
do
to be
not
doing.
disturb or something?
They don't give a shit.
They disturb.
Because if you call multiple times, it bypasses the do not disturb.
Man, you gotta throw people on a block, Cliff.
I'm about to get a second phone. So I can
I
have
got two.
One for the show so I can throw that shit in the trash like and then one where I can just do my regular Instagram shit where I don't have to be bothered with none of y'all. Like, I literally have to I block people regularly. My mom, you too.
You don't block your mom.
Not the moms.
You don't block your mom.
I block my mom.
What?
Not often.
She needs to get in contact with you.
She'll be all right for 2 hours.
I'll be fine.
Oh, no.
I don't block people, but I turn my phone off. There are times where I just turn my phone off.
And see, that's
I got kids, so I ain't got to worry about shit.
Yeah.
Like,
So I leave
I can't
those
imagine.
notifications available. Everything else,
See, that's the thing. These kids don't know how to detach.
I love detaching.
Also too like that processing? Do they know how to process? Do they know how to think through their stuff? Like you said, social, emotional. Do you know how to call out your feelings, what you're feeling, why you're feeling the way you? Nah.
No, because by the time you figure out how you felt, it's the next reel already. Like by the time you figure out,
Thank you.
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
like. No shit. Okay, now here's another.
That's why I don't even
I
have-
can't stand. Oh, here's another.
That's why I
one.
don't
Like,
even
it's
have
just-
social media, bro.
You need it for the show, man.
Well, I know that part, but
I was the same way. I did not
we
want
fought.
to
Really?
get
we still fight.
I
We
did
still
not
fight.
want
So
to
you see
get on
all them,
Instagram.
all those posts and shit that you see.
All those posts and shit that you
Wait,
see.
wait. No.
You two need to get it together.
I'm much better now. I'm much better.
I'm
now.
working
much
on my.
better.
I had a plan. Spring break. I got you.
But it's like I just
You gonna
didn't.
make an IG on spring break? That's your spring break plans?
It's part of it. I
Do that
got
while you're taking a shit tonight.
dude.
I post half our shit on the toilet at 5 a.m. Are you
See,
serious?
look at here, bro.
I'm
It's
so
a
damn serious.
It's a process from when I gotta
feel
figure out
you.
what my handle gonna
Thank
be.
you.
So it's so many
Trevor,
things. It's also a business thing.
That's good.
I still
good.
don't have pictures on my
Process.
Instagram. I still don't have pictures on Instagram.
What is?
I just
She's like
don't.
dead mouse.
Then how are you being like I'm so much better? You,
I post on the OA page.
You
I
got-
wasn't posting
See,
on the
that
OA
is
page.
better. Pictures
I
now.
feel you.
I have 3 pictures. I have 3 reels.
I'm gonna
she's
tell
probably
you.
gonna delete all of them.
It's funny that you said that. My barber said some shit about you today. So I'm doing
funny.
a podcast with him tonight. He's like, "Is she real? She don't got no pictures on her Instagram." I was like,
I get that
I was
often.
like, "Oh,
I
no,
get
she's
that
real,
often.
bro." He's like, "You better hope she shows up." I was like, "No, they're
that
real."
often.
I was like,
I have highlights. Go look at the highlights. That's a person in the highlight.
Ain't nobody looking at nobody's
look at my
fucking
story.
I never go
Old
to
ass
somebody's
barber looking at
page
highlights.
and look at somebody's I've never been to somebody's page and looked at their highlights.
I don't know.
What's the
It's-
highlights?
I
Is that the
just
shit
don't
between
like
the
it.
shit?
Like the
Yeah.
little
telling me?
circles.
telling me.
Ain't nobody looking at that
I used
shit.
to. I'm like, this shit from
It's in my bio.
2016. Why am I
Hey,
listening?
look, it's on
It's in
there.
my bio. Put it in
Boom,
my bio.
boom. It's
Go
on
to
there.
my
So
story.
you know my struggle.
If I'm not
Yes,
on my
I know
story,
you
Look at it,
struggle
look at it.
deeply.
It's on
I
there.
know
it's
you-
on there.
You out here doing work.
Google
Man,
me.
say,
Ain't nothing about to pop up. You ain't got shit nowhere. What you talking
Facebook. I
about?
have Facebook.
Who's on
I do.
Facebook?
I do.
Facebook.
I have a Facebook
I
too.
Find me on
I
Facebook.
stopped just linking shit to Facebook because nobody
You know what?
cares, bro.
I would also be more okay
Annoying.
if it was like I have a Facebook and I'm over there actively on it and
Oh, no, I
posting.
still-
you
I
just
still
have
like-
it, so it's not a good argument. Like,
I still got. I work on Taco Cabana.
what is
That's
that?
from when you graduated high school and shit.
Exactly.
Wow,
Mine's
bro.
not that bad. Mine's not that
What
bad.
is Taco Cabana?
It's like a Taco
Oh, they're not
Bell.
from here.
It's like an elevated
Wait,
Taco Bell.
what is your low budget tacos that's right above Taco Bell?
It would be
we have a lot of
Chipotle.
trucks. Like we have a shit ton of taco trucks.
So you don't have this problem. So yeah, they don't
no,
know.
like I hate
We
Mexican
just got food
out
trucks
here.
like 2 years ago. So
Okay,
they don't know.
yeah.
Oh, I hate food a lot out here in general, but Mexican food specifically out here because it's a lot of like Tex-Mex, whatever.
There's a lot of Tex-Mex.
Like,
Yeah.
our Mexicans
So
out there
ta-
really
it's
doing a well
legit
of shit.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Taco
saying?
Cabana is what you just said. It's a
Okay.
bunch of
Tex-Mex,
shit.
yeah.
It's
Ugh.
like
I was the cook, man. You know, I was out there. I was getting it.
Come
You know?
on,
yeah.
Taco
Well, now you're
Cabana.
What is
cooking in
that
podcast
called?
land. So
Del
can you get
Taco
your
is
pot?
probably that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
El Polo Loco.
Yeah, we have
That's a
El
little
Pollo
better.
Locos.
That's
Yes.
a little bit better. It's a
Never
little-
been
I like
to
El
a
Pollo
Del
Loco.
Taco or El
You
Pollo
should never
Loco.
go.
Because why would I bypass this delicious ass truck of people that
I'm
just
saying.
drove up here
Yeah.
last night who about to bust it down?
We're about to
Like,
really get that.
See,
Taco Sinaloa is the shit.
ooh,
Taco
shout out.
Sinaloa?
Yeah, shout
Oh,
out.
good.
Shout out.
Shout out to whatever she just said.
sounds-
Yeah, I know.
good.
That sounded fly as
You
fuck.
said Sinaloa?
delicious.
Like Sinaloa cart, like them dudes?
Maybe they putting
Oh,
maybe
that's
it's the
interesting.
front,
I know
but
what
they
Sinaloa
tacos
this
is hitting.
I know how to pronounce it now.
Hey, maybe there's 18 keys in the back, but
Yeah.
them tacos in the front is right. You know what I'm saying?
This is terrible.
Fantastic. Keep doing it, bruh.
Now I wanna
Keep
taco.
moving that work.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it Tuesday? No, it's tomorrow.
We'll take a selfie with the taco and post it on your Instagram.
Yeah,
once I get
once
I'm that way.
we can have a group outing.
I hope that you two are each other's only follows on Instagram.
I thought she was gonna say. For some reason, I thought you were about to say OnlyFans. I was like, that is not happening.
No.
Or you could choose that.
No, we don't know.
You don't even need it.
I don't want to.
I think we're good on the OnlyFans content.
I'm cool.
Hey, maybe you need to be a foot
Toes,
model. I was
yeah.
about to say. Maybe you need to put your feet on
Tell you
there.
what, I heard somebody else joke
Oh, I
about
thought he was
that.
about to say he has a foot.
No, I heard somebody else say that same joke.
We don't kink shame. We say that all the time on the
about to
OA
model your
pod.
feet on
We don't
OnlyFans?
kink
You
shame.
gonna hold a mic? Can you wear one of our t-shirts when you do it, please?
Oh,
Hey, shameless plug.
Now that'll get you some follows.
look.
I don't know if I want them, but I'll take them.
Hey, we prophetic.
Not in that video. We're not. No, we're not. You nasty. No.
See?
No.
See how excited we were about your black boy joy? That's what's on your OnlyFans. You laughing and showing your toes. That's
Yeah.
Actually, y'all don't want to see mine.
We don't.
Nah.
yeah.
No.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
okay.
good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
We all uncommitted
Do
immediately.
we all agree that we don't want to see his feet?
Yeah, I mean, I was really. I was excited about the tacos, and I'm a little grossed out. Not gonna lie.
Not the bomb,
That's
bro.
your feet, bro.
Yeah, bro. Ain't it though?
When's the last time you got a pedicure?
Ooh,
Oh, that's what we can do for our outing.
that's what I need, man.
not
Last
doing
time
it
I
for
got one, no.
You need to work on your,
Yeah, this
Oh, this is
dude.
what we do.
relationship.
Yeah,
We
this
don't have one. This is
No, last time I'm trying to answer the
Kiss you
question.
earlier?
Trying to answer the question. My homeboy's wedding week last year.
Whoa.
So they're probably not the
Well,
worst.
I might be around that.
Prior to that, had you gotten them before, or that was
Just that was only my second one.
Oh, I used to.
But it's
go
in
amazing.
life?
Yes, but
Bro, you
they're
missed-
amazing.
How
I know.
old are you?
30.
Bro, you missing out. Oh, you are missing.
Yeah,
out.
I know. They
Before
are amazing.
COVID, I would go.
It's just trying to find a place that does it. Like, actually, no.
What?
I've
Does
had,
toes?
I've had 3.
I'll tell you when we get off.
amazing.
That was
mic.
actually my
Does-
third one. That
A
was my
place
third
that
one.
does what?
Pedicures. Like,
Everybody does. We can Google
everywhere.
that tomorrow, right
no,
now.
There's
What
one by
does
your
it?
house. I got you.
No, not the. If you talking about that black one, no.
Damn.
Uh-oh.
It's
Oh, they don't do
it
toes
wasn't
there?
a black one, but if it was, Jesus.
A lot of
No,
black nail
but
salons
no.
don't do toes. They only do hands.
But no, it was the way. Like, nah, because if you get like the good one, like they put the oil and stuff on your foot, the rocks and all that kind
Says
of
the person that went twice.
right? The
Well,
paraffin
no.
wax.
Well, look here. The black ones didn't do that. They didn't do none of that shit.
You want the paraffin
this is
wax?
such a-
and
Yeah,
all that?
I want all the shit.
Okay.
So
okay.
you do want to go?
I know
Of
a
course.
place.
Yeah, it was just figuring out where to go.
I know a place.
There's a million places you can go to get all of those
You
things.
should go to all of them.
And you should. And you should go regularly.
Yeah.
Now
no,
you saying all this. Let's see your toes, Mr. Prophetic.
Would I put some shit on? Would I put the
I have a
gold?
feeling,
The
I have a
gold.
feeling you do keep your toes.
I put gold on and then put the socks on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I had to get them shits right.
How about that?
So you the one with the need the OnlyFans?
I did. I look like my feet look historical for a long time. They look like they belong in February every month.
Oh,
It was bad.
I'm saying, y'all need flowers and pedicure.
no. Nah, you can hear the Negro spiritual every time you take your socks off.
Right?
sound like poplar's trees and wind just blowing.
Right?
That's
Take that sock off. Swing. Yo. Kent's foot that didn't make it.
Giving
Oh
kids-
man.
Oh my goodness.
Well, ladies, this has been a blast.
This was fun.
Yeah, I didn't even realize we've been here for freaking 2 hours.
I know.
It's hot as fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
like-
getting
I
warm.
know. I don't have no fluffer. Nobody to come in and you know
a
what that is.
fluffer. I know exactly what a fluffer is.
Not that. Not my face, man. Not-
Oh.
We've been
I didn't know a
taking weird
fluffer could be more than
directions.
one thing.
Oh, please tell me I'm saying that. Is that wrong?
No, a fluffer is in
no, is that
porn
only
only.
for your? Oh, that's only for the thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I'm pretty sure fluffers are only.
This is episode 32. I've said that numerous times. Somebody help me. Someone please tell me what the person is that comes in and beats the shit out of your face in between breaks. Like,
Makeup artist?
there you go. That
You
person.
thought that was a fluffer?
I thought they were fluffy.
Could you imagine? Because your podcast is going to continue to grow because we're going to prophetically speak that. Could you imagine if some woman had to come in here and you kept referring to her as a fluffer? And all she was doing was trying to put a little concealer on them under eyes?
Yeah, I just Googled the fluffer.
God.
There's no other definition. Fluffer is
You're
only one thing.
welcome
Thank
Yeah.
you.
for not ruining this for yourself.
Someone on a pornographic film set that
Wow.
kee's a male performer.
Yeah, it's,
Damn.
it's
Oh, that's where they
horrible.
would have put the meat stuff on my
Yeah.
face. Oh.
Before they go do the girl that they got to do on
Oh.
camera. They have their
Oh, I
type
didn't- oh.
that arouses them, and they get aroused, and then they start and ready to go over here and fuck whoever.
I just
person
need a
on
little
camera.
crew to come in and like change, you know, like in NASCAR, zoop, 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 just come in, fix my shit up real quick.
I mean, the
and
zoop,
get-
zoop, zoop could happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't know if I want to use that.
No, just come in, take this shit off, take these off, put it back on, and get the fuck
5-star
out.
fluffer over there. Zoop, zoop, zoop.
like,
You ready to go?
go. You know, like, no, but this has been a blast. I'm so glad you ladies came through. We needed.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we should do this again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Next time we'll come to your house.
Sure.
Yeah, we got to get one, but yeah.
We got a room.
we have a set
Yeah, we
that
got a
is
room.
big
It's
enough to fit.
cool. We can make it
us.
work. It's okay.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy yourselves?
Yeah, this
Yes,
is
this was
beautiful
great.
studio.
Hotter than fish grease, but it's cool though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That means you've been here for a while. That's
Yeah.
good though. That means the conversation was good too though. So
When two or more blacks come together, the temperature increases.
that sounds like some shit I heard in church. When two more heads together, pray together. Just call his name and put your hand. I forgot how.
That
it
mean,
went.
hey, that mean we fired, bruh.
Yeah, we lit.
Oh, we're not prophetic anymore. That's your line.
I was gonna come back
Oh,
to
I'm
that.
sorry.
Oh, damn.
Do you?
We prophetic.
Oh, there it is. All right. Before we get out of here, do you guys want to give them your handles? I'll put them across the bottom of the screen. So this will be the place where they're plugged in. So I'll put the stuff
Gotcha.
across the bottom of the screen, their handles, where you can find them. The Occasionally Accountable Podcast.
See, it's hard. That's why you like.
You can't roll it as fast. I got to say it a
can't.
couple times. I gotta
took us
say
a
it.
while.
Yeah. But your handles, go ahead. Give me your information where to find you guys, your ladies.
Brittany got it. I mess it
Okay.
up every single time.
What camera am I
Every
looking
time.
at?
Right
That
there,
one?
D1.
Yeah.
Okay. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at _OA podcast. And you can find us on YouTube at the Occasionally Accountable Podcast.
Hey. You know where to find us. The Prophetic Pod on everything.
We prophetic.
He'll be here every time.
Every time.
Well, if nothing else, we get out of here. We'll say bye and do all those good things. Right?
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
really?
Thanks for having us. Later.
That's not how we say.
That's not how you say bye?
Somebody never makes it to the last part.
We didn't rehearse that. That wasn't how we do it.
no.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought we
You looking for
just like-
episode duration?
It's like a long bye. It's like hella E's on the end. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time. This will be out by the time you hear us. This will be out on a Friday. So happy Black History Month because it's still in February. But thank you guys for always tuning in. Thank you, ladies, for showing up. Thank you, Trevor, for being authentically yourself. I love what you did.
so smiley.
All the time.
Yeah, I need
All the time.
I need a whole blooper reel of just him laughing.
You didn't even say shit. You said the same shit you say every week, and he's still like,
Same old shit. I'm still haven't perfected this shit. This outro, this monologue's taking a while, but thank you guys for listening. We'll plug you guys in, and if you'll give your socials.
Personal
No, your personal.
socials?
Yeah. Do you want them to,
that's
she,
so
only,
funny.
she only has
Okay.
3 pictures, but we got
Come to my Instagram at
for 3 photos. Go
yes,
ahead.
Three
it's
photos.
giving nothing.
It's giving 0. It's giving can't find me.
Yeah, I wouldn't gonna let you get here without giving it up. Go ahead.
20 heart underscore.
Oh, this is,
Y'all, I can't wait until social media dies.
Me
Never
too.
gonna happen.
Me
It's
too.
never
I
gonna
can't
happen.
feel you.
wait.
you know what?
Okay.
Oh.
Can I just say very quickly, the thing I don't understand about Bree is that she is against social media, but she's all about getting the fucking Neuralink. So I'm like, how are
The
you?
Neuralink's different.
That's Neuralink. That's like social media on steroids.
That's like
What is it?
literally
It's in you
full
now. Like,
integration
It's
into your
different.
life.
I'm not gonna lie. I would like to have a Chat GPT robot. If y'all want to sponsor
I
our
don't want
household
no
one,
robots.
you can.
don't want
Tesla
none of
wants to
this.
give a Chat
I am
GPT.
a
Y'all take
Luddite
y'all's
for
shit and put
sure.
in the Tesla robot. I'll take
I
one.
want all the stuff. I want to be Will.i.am without the murder
Then how you gonna have
takeover.
social? Okay.
I just don't.
makes no
It's
sense.
too
makes
much
no
to
sense.
get. I don't like it. I don't like it. But if you want to come see
3 pictures.
3 pictures, an occasional story, and my highlight reel, which is where all the pictures are, 20 heart underscore.
Go check it out.
Trevor has no social media.
Not yet, but we working on it.
You're gonna make an Instagram, Trevor. I believe in you. And put one picture.
I appreciate you
I'll
know.
put the picture of us, the selfie. That was beautiful.
Boom.
There you go.
Tomorrow
That's too soon.
by Friday.
That's still too soon.
Can you help him make
I don't
this?
want
This
you
is the
pushing
week
your
before-
agenda.
Look here. This is the
us.
week
You just
before
want
spring
him to
break.
put a picture of you on his social media. You don't even have yet.
Look here. This is the week before spring break. I'm busy.
Okay.
He's busy. I don't know what to
And
say.
your socials.
Okay.
Thank you, Trevor.
Mine is at Brit Nation, BRITT, and Nation, NATION.
There you go. Make her a hive.
Yo.
All right. Well, that's it, y'all. It's like a long bye. It's like really, really, really.
I'm I'm just waiting for you.
Okay.
On the phone.
Bye.